Follow your passion. Countless lives have been molded with that one particular statement. You know what the biggest problem with that statement is? It's exclusionary. We live in a world of 8 billion people. How is it possible that everybody has a particular passion that they want to follow? It's not, right? So following your passion at the outset is a very exclusionary statement, and that's my first problem with it. The second problem with it is that it doesn't account for skill, for time, for natural opportunities that might be existing, and for the time and place that you are in your life at that particular point in time. What it also doesn't do is that it doesn't account for the fact that you might be passionate at something at the outset, but as you start working on it, it might not be something that you need your life's work to be. Passion also does not guarantee success. Now, I understand that pretty much anything in life does not guarantee success. You don't know whether what you're doing will be successful or not, but passion definitely is one which comes with absolutely no strings of whether it will be successful endeavor or not. Skills, experience, those on the other hand come with some amount of stability, for the lack of a better word. And when you have developed certain skills, not all of them, I can assure you right now, not all of them will be ones that you have developed out of necessity. There would be things that you have become good at simply because you like doing them and like doing them well. It might not be passion. It might not make you the rock star with a guitar on the stage, but it can definitely give you something that you are proud of, that is sustainable, and that you can carry on for a very, very long time. What it also doesn't account for is the market. You like something doesn't mean that the world likes it. It doesn't take into account evidence that stands outside of you and what all you can use in terms of your resources, in terms of the target audience, and in terms of whatever is available outside that is probably already serving the need that you're trying to serve, or the absolute reality that that need might not be required to be served at all. Moving right along to the next section of this particular video, which is what are the other terrible advice that have been given around for generations. And the first one on that list is, if you make it, they will come. Yeah, absolutely. Can we just do some groundwork before the first step? I'm not asking you to make the whole perfect little picture and then move forward, but at least do some groundwork. Because charging headlong into any new project without figuring the steps out and thinking that, yeah, I'm going to figure all of it out as I go along, the trouble with that is you will fail once and you will feel, yeah, no, okay, that's fine, I'll get up and I'll do it again. You'll probably do it twice and thrice, but without a clear goal, without a clear strategy, without a clear visibility, without understanding what value you bring and what value you should actually be asking for, you do see how very quickly the passions can run dry, how it will become impossible to keep going. So what your vision or what your final version of the ideal product looks like might not need the full blueprint, but it definitely needs strategy, it definitely needs visibility, and it needs value. Everything in life needs a village to build, not just children. And for that village, you need to understand where you're getting your support from. You need to understand who are the ones who are going to actually be working with you on creating this offering. Who are the ones that you're going to consult, that you're going to take advice from and just, understand how you can do this better, who are going to become your coaches. And have that village around you. Do that much groundwork before you take the first step. But then, don't wait, get into action. Passion also doesn't account for the most important factor in all of this, which is that passion only can be tested after action. Only once you have taken some steps towards that direction can you really know whether this is something that should be followed or could be followed or not. Before you plunge head on and take on the romantic, rebellious version of passion, which is to say, I'm going to follow this up until I die, maybe take a step back. Maybe just think about whether your passion is really something that will keep you going for the rest of your life. Gem number 3, never give up. Oh yes, never give up. Quitting is bad. Quitting is the worst thing. Never quit. Well, what if you just really wanted to? Is it not okay to just quit if you realize that this is the most that it can go? That's what great careers, great lives are built on, knowing when to stop. Sometimes it is important to just stop and take a breather and step back and say, yes, I love this. I really am very, very invested in what this is, but it's not serving me any longer. So can I just give up? And can I just sort of pause and refresh and replay and get on to the next thing, which might be more meaningful to me in the long run than this particular endeavor has proved to be. We are on a roll today with gem number 4. Say yes to every opportunity. Always say yes. You know what saying yes to every opportunity does? What saying yes essentially means? It means you have no boundaries. It means you are never going to decide for yourself what comes next, because you're busy saying yes. You will say yes to anything that comes your way, and you will simply keep doing. It can lead to burnout. It can lead to confusion. It can lead to a whole lot of disenchantment, because you have not really taken pause to understand what is it that you really want to do. You're busy saying yes. Now, at no point does this mean that you have to be an expert before you get started. That's the next terrible advice that I would like to talk about. We become so good at something that you are the one who has all the answers. Well, my first question is, who has all the answers? Who really is the expert at anything in any field? Come to think about it. Let's talk about AI, or let's talk about technology. There's always something new happening, and something in the huge network of minds that are working together, somebody is thinking of something new. There's really nobody who is an expert. So everybody starts somewhere. All we are saying up until this point is we do some groundwork before we get started, but we don't wait so long that we have to be absolutely perfect in every manner before we get started. The idea is to find balance, and the idea is to not get married to any advice completely, including this one, by the way. The last one in my list of wonderful, terrible advice is fake it till you make it. I think that absolutely nothing will trump authenticity, or will trump the fact that if you know what you're talking about, the way that you show up will be amplified entirely differently than if you start talking about something. Yes, it's good to go after an industry or go after a particular area of work where you have some amount of knowledge, some amount of interest, and you have some amount of understanding, and therefore you start taking the first steps. But just to go after something because everybody else is doing it, and then just copying whatever else is existing, and then saying, yeah, I'm just going to keep saying it out from the windows for as long as I can, even though I don't understand a word of it, yeah, you see how that can be terrible. So we circle back to, what do we really do? If this is not what needs to be done, what should be done? Well, again, like I said, don't take my advice or don't take anybody's advice. Just listen to whatever else is out there, listen to differing opinions and take your own path. But probably a good place to start would be to starting with skills. What is it that you already know? What is it that you do well? And what is it that comes easy to you? I'm not talking about this is what I'm great at, this is what I like, this is what I love. No. First, we talk about what comes easy, then we talk about what is it that you have become good at. Those two starting points give you a sense of confidence. They tell you what you know, and that always helps when you start branching out. And that does not mean that if you have been a data analyst in investment banking for the last 20 years, there is nothing else you can do. No, absolutely not. What that has taught you is skills of organization. It has taught you how to look at information that might look scattered or might look complex to everybody else, and find the right point with which to begin. It has given you skills of understanding how trends work. It has given you skills of understanding what patterns you can find from information. So now you use this skill. This is the skill that you have built, right? Not the skill of doing the job, but the skill of knowing internally how to do this fast, then compared to somebody who hasn't worked on it long enough. Take this skill and let's see where else you can apply it. And once you have this set of skills, once you know what is it that comes easy and what is it that you're good at, you can then marry it to say, what are the problems that I can solve well? What solutions can I provide that nobody currently is providing, or nobody is providing well enough, or even though that might be happening, I'm still fairly good at it and I will be able to create a niche or a market for myself. Skills with problems give you something that you possibly can be proud and passionate about. And then you take this discovery of your skills and discovery of what problems you can solve, and you put them in the golden intersection, is what I would like to call it. And if you want to find out more about the golden intersection, here's a video which will give you more details. But coming back to this, take your problems and you take your skills and you put it in the golden intersection of saying this is the right audience for it, and most likely it would be somebody like you, perhaps, maybe, who's trying to solve those problems. And that gives you the first idea or the first step of where could you possibly begin if a pivot is what you're looking for. From here on, of course, the journey becomes quite easy. Now, if failure comes, it is understandable because it is a way for us to understand what we did not do right and what we can do better. But it doesn't hit us like a wall because we are not unprepared. We have thought about this, we have thought this through, we have gathered our village, we have understood our skills, we have understood the problems we'd like to solve, we have kind of understood what kind of audience we want to focus this on. And now with this first draft, we can go out, test it, and make iterations when and if necessary. So if following your passion doesn't speak to you like it doesn't speak to me, or if you have struggled with finding a passion which you can really back towards, maybe a good way to start is to take 10 minutes today, find out the skills you're good at, just write down what is it that you're good at, what comes easy, and write down a problem that you would like to solve. It doesn't necessarily need to be a problem that you're solving today. If it is, that's fantastic, but it doesn't need to be. What am I good at? What problem do I want to solve? And what are the first steps that I can take towards it today? I hope this helps. Tell me what other bad, terrible advice that you have heard in your lifetime, and I would love to chat you up on that. See you soon. Bye bye.